physical, whatever you call it, features, and we have our own. We don't do what they do, and they don't do what we do. There are two separate things that ever need to remain in this fashion. And lastly, or before lastly, public sinning. And the Prophet ﷺ said, كُلُّ أُمَّتِي مُعَافَى إِلَّا الْمُجَاهِرُونَ. All of my ummah will be safe, except those who do sins publicly. When you shave your beard, or when you do a zigzag, like a freeway, going and you have a roundabout over here, and then you go down. Some people get really creative, spending maybe half an hour to an hour in front of the mirror in the bathroom, doing different kinds of stuff, right? If you do that, and some guy likes it, and he starts doing it, then his friend likes it, and he starts doing it, all of these will be on your book of evil deeds on the Day of Judgment. You are responsible for misguiding maybe millions of people you don't know. You may be the one who started the fashion, and you may be destroyed because of that start. So it's not a joke. And public sinning is meaning, I disobey Allah publicly, I could care less. Again, I know, or I have a very strong feeling that most of our brothers here, or those who will hear in the future, didn't know all this. This is shocking. So don't feel bad. Okay? You're not to blame, inshallah, because the Muslim ummah suffers from what? Lack of knowledge. We don't really know much. So inshallah, if you didn't know, inshallah, you're excused by Allah. And everything I'm mentioning is not applicable to you. When this becomes a problem, when we know now and we don't act, then I'm sorry for myself and I'm sorry for you. If this has become clear to you, Allah al-Musta'an. But if you didn't know before, brother, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. We all make mistakes. Each one of us is a sinner in his own way. Some, the sins appear on their face, and some, they don't appear. It doesn't mean that if you don't have a beard, meaning everyone around you who has a beard is some, righteous man. Not necessarily. We may have problems or diseases of the heart which are much more severe than you shaving the beard. So it has to do with intentions, it has to do with the environment, many things. Keep that in mind. Because I don't want you to feel bad, right? I don't want you to feel guilty. We want us all to be a single brotherhood. We have to share information, like your friend. With your friend, you tell him, you look ugly today. Right? Now if somebody told you down the street, if you're walking down the street and someone said, excuse me, you look ugly. What will happen to you? The average man will knock him out. Say, yeah, I'll show you who's ugly. Bam. So now you look ugly now. That's, if you don't remember Allah often. But if your friend told you you look ugly, you say, oh, why? This stuff doesn't look good on you. Okay, I will not wear it anymore, right? So take me as a friend, I hope, or close to a friend, where I'm just, trying to, help myself and you do better. Not that I'm sitting here trying to, put nails in the coffin, as they say, trying to terminate you before you leave the lecture tonight. I know I'm a little mean, but that's my job sometimes as a lecturer. Anyways, we're coming to an end, inshallah. It's a waste of money and time. The last violation, it is a waste of money. I've mentioned before, Gillette or the other kinds which are available in the market are outrageously expensive. I mean, I buy the blades, right, because there are other things you're supposed to shave, like your armpit and otherwise, and the blade is like 25 riyals. Only the extra blade which you put on top of the machine, the tool, whatever you want to call it. When you buy the whole package, which comes, the thing, and now they have batteries and, all kinds of crazy stuff, it's around 100 something riyals, 80 riyals. That's a lot of money to spend to disobey Allah. Allah will ask us about this money. It's enough that we're spending it in the wrong way and we're disobeying Allah with the money. This is not being appreciative to Allah, for sure. Secondly, time. Do we have time every day to shave? How much time does it take? Wallahi, it consumes so much time. Whether you shave on your own or you go to the barber. And I told you what I saw at the barber, remember? Do you remember what I told you before? Crazy stuff, man. We're living in a strange world today. The barber had a thread. This thread was like, I don't know, it's like a sewing machine, right? He would put it in between his teeth, and he would fold it with some other thing, and then he would put it on the brother's neck, and he would go like this. I was sitting there like, brother, what are you doing? The man sitting there like, so he can get some hairs here removed, you know, or something along these lines, and the man is sitting there looking like, you know, I don't know what. I'm not even going to compare him to anything. He looks like some alien. He's not even a human being, going back and forth the whole time. You know, spending, Allah knows, I'm sitting there, you know, trying to get my hair cut, and I'm waiting and waiting. Is this brother serious? How long does this take? Had you read the Quran and gotten, you know, thousands of good deeds, wallah, it would have been better for you than all the time you're wasting shaving your beard and trying to design it. So, you know, it's a waste of time and waste of money. Conclusion. It is not befitting for any Muslim male, whoever hears this lecture from the beginning till the end, or even part of it, to ever shave his beard again. And Allah knows that if we don't obey and listen, let me give you a guaranteed reality: we have a disease in our heart. That's the reality. If we like that and we are willing to meet Allah with this kind of heart, that's everyone's business. If I know this about myself and I don't try to fix it, then I'm responsible for the consequences. And the same thing are applicable to you. Once you know, once you've heard all of this amazing information which you never heard before, but I didn't bring it from my own mind. This is all available in the books. This is found online. This is nothing new that I'm bringing. If we still don't listen, we have a problem in our hearts. And we need to really revisit our iman. Do we really believe in Allah and His Messenger? Do we really love the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Do we really love to imitate him? Do we really want to go to Jannah? If all of the above you say yes, then you will no longer ever be able to shave your beard again. Let alone take anything out of it if it doesn't go beyond your fist. Right? So I'm just imagining this right now. I'm having this wonderful image that, you know, one day I give a lecture to a whole bearded crowd, except the sisters, of course. You know, come the sisters with beards also. Say, no, you missed the lecture. I was addressing the men. That would be wonderful. Imagine. Of course they will be scared here at the hospital. Say, what happened to these guys, man? We need to stop this lecture before they become, you know, terrorists. But, you know, we don't care about what the people think. It would be wonderful if one day it was everybody with a big beard or a small beard. Some people don't have a long beard. You are not to be blamed. It's not like the bigger the beard, the more your iman. Like I said, some people are hairy, some people are not. As long as you're letting it go, even if it's one hair, you have done your job. And you are equal, maybe better in the sight of Allah than the brother with the hugest beard in the world. Because it's a matter of obedience, not quantity. You follow me? Wonderful. Sisters, help the brother out. If you see him acting silly, remind him. And please, don't be one of these ladies who say to their husbands, you don't look good. Right? So sometimes you tell the brother, why don't you leave your beard? He says, brother, you know, I would love to leave my beard, but my wife doesn't like it. Say, brother, your wife also doesn't like your stinky feet, but you don't seem to do anything about that. And she doesn't like the fact that you brush your teeth once a month, and you don't seem to be doing anything about that. And she doesn't like many things, but you ignore her. Now when it comes to the beard, you became obedient to your wife. Wallah, I'm looking after my wife's, you know, feelings and emotions. Nonsense. So sisters, don't put your husband in this position where you tell him, you know, you don't look good, you look dirty, something along these lines. This is unacceptable. You should help him obey Allah. You shouldn't help him disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So please don't disappoint us. You know, we need you, your husband needs you. If you're a mother, your son needs you. If you're a sister, your brother needs you. Remind them of Allah. Let them be men as they're supposed to be. Don't do it the other way around. The other thing I wanted to mention before we conclude is that if you really want to believe that beard and iman are harmonious, look at the new Muslims. You will hardly find a new Muslim who has been into Islam long enough to understand the deen without a beard. Right or wrong? Right. Why? Because these people entered into Islam because they were convinced that this is a religion of God. So when their iman is still, you know, vibrant. So when this news came to them, they were happy to act upon it. And those who usually born into Islam, which live Islam as a culture, as a ritual, are the ones who may ignore this. Because their iman is not as vibrant as someone who entered into Islam. This to prove to you that beard and iman go hand in hand. Right? And lastly, I want to quote you an incident that was narrated by Abu Ishaq al-Huwaini, one of the students of Shaykh al-Albani. I saw this on a video where he was asked about the hijab and the beard. And he said that I met a man in the masjid. And this man used to have a big beard. And then I didn't see him for a long time. And then after a long time, I saw him. and he had a very tiny beard. I mean, it was still starting to grow. So then, he said, the man came and told me, I need to speak to you, to the sheikh. So the sheikh said, no problem. When they started speaking, of course,